Plenty of you, especially if you've been following my devlog series, might have noticed that I was working on a game that I suddenly stopped. I briefly mentioned it on my Discord, but I thought I would actually make a video to talk about it. When you first start working on projects, you often become almost infatuated with it. You have this idea of what it could be, and you often make progress on it really quick. After working on it for a bit though, the level of infatuation tends to fall off. Because of this, with almost all projects that you work on for a long time, you get to a point where it starts becoming less fun to work on a project, and you question if you actually want to finish the project. With Lab 12B, I got to this point and I started to realize that I wasn't really having fun working on the game, but more than that, I wasn't even having fun playing the game. The mechanics just wouldn't click and everything about it just kind of felt stale. So I ended up working on the game for a bit longer, but I couldn't really get any progress done. Because of this, I just decided to drop it. In the game dev community, it's often preached that you should finish your game and stick to it to the end. And while I'm one of the people who kind of preach this too, I do realize that sometimes it's actually in the best interest to just let the game go. Along with learning how to finish a game, you gotta learn when it's best to let a game go. Whether it's the case where the gameplay just isn't fun, or you realize that you just overscoped your game and finishing the game is going to take you several years that you don't want to dedicate to this project. Now, if you have a lot of the game finished when you have this realization and the gameplay is fun, I would actually recommend scoping down and just polishing what you already have, and releasing a smaller finished version of the original idea. There's no shame in that. However, I didn't feel with Lab 12B that this was feasible, as the game had barely any progress and I just didn't find the gameplay fun. This doesn't, however, mean that if the gameplay isn't fun, you should immediately drop the game. On Wallgrab, a project that I made for the Wild Gem, after a couple days I realized that the main mechanic just wasn't really fun. I was about halfway through, and I was sitting there thinking maybe I should just drop the game. But instead of dropping the game, I started looking at it, okay, how could I change the main mechanic? I wanted to basically, instead of trying to polish what I had, which I felt wasn't going to be good, I wanted to change the main mechanic to make the main mechanic fun. And after working on it for a bit, I realized I could actually remove stuff from the main mechanic, which was jumping from wall to wall. It only let you jump in straight lines. I removed that limitation, which allowed you to jump in angles, and made gameplay a lot more fun. So I decided to go with that. My current game I'm working on, formerly called Disc Arena, recently renamed to Dodgeball Dungeon, has gotten to the point where the infatuation has started to wear off, and I did question whether I was going to finish this game or not. I still like the game, and honestly, I have fun playing it, but development has slowed quite a bit, and I'm not as obsessed with the game as when I first started. However, this isn't going to stop me from finishing the game. I do have another game that I want to work on after this, and because of this I actually really want to finish up the game soon, if possible. But with this game, I feel like it would be in the best interest for me to get it to a good playable state where it feels finished and polished. Maybe not all the mechanics I initially wanted in it, but a good finished polished game, and then just get it out there. When I do so, I'm probably just going to toss it on itch.io for free. But yeah, when it comes down to it, you need to ultimately be the one that calls the shots on whether you keep the game or drop it. However, I will say, do keep in mind there's a reason why so many people are really adamant about telling indie devs to complete their projects. Too many times, we just start working on a project and we're like, okay, I'm done with that. Move on to the next one. Start working on a project, okay, I'm done with that. Move on to the next one. And it becomes a cycle where we essentially just can't finish anything. But also, on the other hand, there are quite viable reasons why you should drop your project. So you kind of just need to weigh the costs and benefits of working on your project and decide whether you're going to drop it or not. I don't regret working on Lab 12B because I actually learned quite a lot from it, and that's going to help me work on other projects. But also at the same time, I don't regret dropping it because I feel like it was getting to a point where it was pointless for me to continue working on it. I know this video isn't my regular content, but I had a lot of fun talking about it, so let me know if you'd be interested in seeing more videos like this. I'm also looking forward to showing you the progress I've made with Dodgeball Dungeon. If you want to get a sneak peek at it, I actually do a stream 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Mountain Time every Tuesday. Also, the game in one of its previous states is currently up on itch.io, so be sure to check that out and let me know what you think. As always, thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one.